Hi everyone, thank you for coming by. My name is Indra and this is my second video to check whether the quality of my recording is already acceptable. Um, Please comment down below about the quality of the recording, whether you see something that you think is not nice. Please comment, just give your thoughts. So with this video, I think I'm gonna redo what I taught in my previous video, which is about the very basic of programming. But in my previous video, I did it in C#. Let's see whether I can give you something similar this time, but in C++ instead. I also had some problems with some other camera or webcam, should I say. My other laptop's webcam did freeze, but this is my backup laptop, so I hope the webcam won't cause me any trouble this time. Okay, so let's begin. Well, in C++, we use the IOStream directive, include directive, whenever we want to deal with input-output. So as you may have seen in my previous video, the intention of this, from my previous video was to show you how to do hello world in C#, but this time let's do it in C++. So since we are going to deal with input-output, we need to use the medium, right? The way how to interact or how to deal with I/O. In C++, we do it like this, include IOStream. In the previous video, we used the using system, right? Because inside the system namespace, there is that one class called console. But over here, we're using IOStream instead of the console class. All right. So in every C++ program that you run, either in Windows or Linux or Mac, you need to have the program started from the main. Well, actually, it will always start from the main function. So you need to make sure that your program has that main function. So I'll just do it like this. So this is the main function, and that's the return type of type integer. The open curly brace is there to denote the beginning of the scope of the main function, right? Now, before this function ends, the task that I want to do is basically just to show a hello world, right? So how to do it? First of all, we're going to use the cout output directive, but that cout itself is located inside the std namespace. So we're gonna mention the std namespace first, and then separate it by double colon, and then that cout thing. Okay, so it's like this: std double colon cout, right? std double colon cout, and then this smaller, this less than sign, you put it twice, right? And then directly whatever data that you want to be shown on the command prompt or DOS screen, that black screen, the terminal, I'll put it directly after the double less than sign, right? For example, over here, hello world. Right. That's basically it. This is like the simplest CL program, the simplest C++ program. And then to end a statement, because this is a statement, right? To end a statement, just like in other C-like languages, you end it with a semicolon. And then to end the program, you need to use the return statement, and then return 0, meaning there's nothing wrong, the error code is 0. And then you close the scoop of the function, of the main function, using the closing curly brace. As you can see here, it's logical that when we open, we close it, right, to denote that this is the scope of the main function. Right. This is basically it. Another way to do this is, well, if we want to experiment a little bit, because otherwise this video will be as short as my first test video, I'm going to make some kind of refactoring, which is taking out this thing and then put it into a lambda. Right. What is a lambda? Lambda is basically an anonymous function, so a function without a name. So how to refactor or take out this one line of statement of putting out or to display the text hello world and put it in a lambda? Well, I will show you. Well, we need to erase this 2 lines, or 3 lines, should I say. On how to make a lambda, it's not that difficult. As far as I know, lambda is a feature starting from C++ 11, if I'm not mistaken. Now to use this lambda, well, I think I'm going to use all my markers because these 3, they all have different colors here. It's not that difficult. Just use the auto statement and the name of the lambda. For example, not the name of the lambda yet. Basically a variable to host the lambda. For example, display, right? The variable is called display, and then over here we're going to use many brackets actually. Over here, first of all, this bracket, this square bracket. Well, over here actually you can put whether you want to use the ampersand or the equal sign, or just leave it empty. If you use this ampersand, means that any variable that you're going to use in this lambda, they're going to be a reference type, for example, meaning if you capture it inside that lambda and then you modify it, well, the real variable will be affected also, right? For example, you have an integer with value 5, and then inside this lambda you use the ampersand sign over here to put inside this square bracket, and then you change the variable from 5 to 6. Well, after the lambda is done, and then you want to display it outside of the lambda, of course, display that variable, well, it's already 6, it's no more 5. So it's like taking not a copy, but the real that one variable, take it like literally into the lambda. And the other one is this equal sign. Equal signs means, well, if you pass 5, 5 is actually, you just pass a copy of a 5. So if you have 5 and then make a copy to another 5, and then you pass this other 5 to the lambda, and then if it's like modified in the lambda and then you're done, the lambda is done, and then you want to show the content of the variable outside the lambda, well, it's still 5 because it's only a copy that you modify inside the lambda. So the other option is to leave it empty, because in this lambda we're not gonna pass any variable into the lambda itself, because like the lambda is self-sufficient, right? We just want to display hello world, and the string hello world is also already inside the lambda and is not passed by value or by reference, something like that. So the first bracket in the series here is the square bracket, and then the second one is actually the parenthesis, right? But inside this parenthesis, we're not gonna put any argument because, yeah, again, we don't need anything. The lambda is self-sufficient. And then, of course, over here, we go directly with the open curly brace. Well, you can already guess that this is the curly brace is the beginning of the scope, and this is like the beginning of the scope of the lambda of that anonymous function, right? So inside of here, well, I can actually like press enter and then begin to do the coding starting right here if I want to, which is I'm going to do right now. Well, I can also do it over here, std cout, and then that hello world thing. And then if I wanna do enter, like go to the next line in C++, I do it like this. I use the end line. End line ENDL is located inside the std namespace also. So like that, right? std double colon ENDL, and then to end the statement again semicolon. And how do we end the lambda? Of course, we need to close the curly brace over there. But this statement is not done yet because this is also a scoop, and then optionally we can use semicolon over here just to know that this is like a statement. Right. And then we shouldn't directly put return 0 over here, because if we put return 0, then the lambda is not called, which is basically useless, right? That's why we need to call the lambda. Lambda is actually a function. Even though it's the anonymous function, to call a function, you still need to mention the name of the function, and then open parenthesis, and then optionally the argument or arguments, and then close parenthesis. And of course, after that, because it's a statement, we end it with a semicolon. So how do we call the lambda? Well, just mention the name of the lambda, the anonymous function, open parenthesis, close parenthesis, and then semicolon. And then after we're done with this, we put return 0, just like in the previous one. And then we close the scoop of this main function. So the logic is like this. We make the lambda, right? So this is the start of the function, and then we go here, we make the lambda, which is put into this display, local variable called display. And then, yeah, as I've explained, this is like the referencing mode. And then over here, the argument. As you can see here, when we call the lambda, we pass nothing, right? As arguments. So over here, we put no parameters, right? And then, okay, this is the scope of the lambda. So when we execute this, so the program is actually like this. This is executed, right? Meaning we make the lambda, and then after that, we call this. We call the lambda. Logically, we go to the lambda itself, which is like the body of the lambda instead of the declaration over here. We go over here to the body of lambda. Well, what's that body of the lambda doing? Well, that body of the lambda does only one thing, which is this statement, printing out the hello world to the output, right? To the DOS screen or to the terminal, whichever you call it. And then it's done, basically, right? But over here, it's optional to use the return value because, well, this lambda returns nothing, unlike over here, the main one, which returns 0 because we put a integer over there. it's like having a function with return type void, you know. There's no return value over here, so it's totally optional for you to use the return statement. Well, just to make stuff simple, in this example, I use no return statement inside the lambda. So basically it, after the display is done, showing this thing, the hello world, and we execute the return 0 as the last statement that is executed inside the function, which like saying we're done with the function exit, and then the whole program is done after calling this thing, and then yeah, basically this thing is showed. That's it. Okay, this is the end of my second test video. I hope you can see me well, either over here from your right hand side, or maybe from here, from the center, or from here, from your right hand, from your left hand side. And please comment whether you can see me clearly or not, and whether you can read the whiteboard clearly or not. Thank you for watching the video, and I will see you in my real video in tutoring, or maybe in my third video of testing everything. I'm not sure. Okay, thank you very much for watching this video. Ciao.